Chester. Claire stole my quote, the Michelle Obama one. But I have another one. My dad used to tell me that if you're young and you want to see the sky, you need to sit on the shoulders of the elders. And this is why I find it so disgraceful, the arguments that are being put forward about how, oh, we need to have another people's vote so that the young people who are 16, 3 years ago can now vote. And then the older ones, I don't know what they were planning to do with the older ones. But it's just so funny how history is no longer valued. Old age, gray hair, the wisdom of the elders is no longer valued. But the fact of the matter is, if you go back, these same arguments that we're having today were had, I think it was 20 years ago, by the Labour Party. And 46 years ago, when they were deciding to join the the European communities, this was the same argument that was going on. You know, and I just find it so sad that history is not being taught in our schools. Children are not finding out, they're not being taught in our citadels of learning. They're not being taught how we got into the EU. Because you cannot understand why we want to leave if you don't understand how we got in. And this is, I think, very fundamental. You cannot really understand where you are going if you do not understand where you have been. So I want to call on all of us, especially the grandparents, the parents. I have 4 kids. Tell your children, tell your grandchildren, sit them down and tell them how we got here and where we can get to. It is so fundamental. Otherwise, we will have the divided nation that the other side want us to have. Now, I'm a Commonwealth trained lawyer, and that means that English law was the basis of when I was being taught constitutional law. And I was taught that the UK has one of the oldest constitutions in the world. But you know the funny thing about the UK constitution? It's unwritten. The American Constitution written. Most of the other Commonwealth countries, their constitutions are written down. Why? Because most of those other countries had to fight for democracy. It was not given to them, oh, come and take democracy. They had to fight for it. And as a result, they were already divided at the time of democracy. So they had to write down the rules. These are the rules by which we are going to play. And then over time, trust developed. And when I think, why didn't the UK have a written constitution? Well, I want to think maybe it's because at that time, there was a lot of honor, rightness in the way governance was being handled. That's where we get the right honorable. But for some reason, we don't have this rightness and honorable in our parliamentarians. We don't have it. Our right honorable friends are behaving badly. And that is why we are where we are today. You know, I found it so shocking, one of our MMPs who claims to be representing the minority I come from, he says, how can it be undemocratic to ask the people whether they've changed their minds? You see, this is not how democracy works. The way democracy works, you set the rules before you start playing, not while you're playing. And the expectation is after you have started playing, everyone remembers the rules. You don't get to make the rules as you go along, as you play the game. That is not democracy. Now, I remember after the referendum, we that won, it was almost as if we had lost. Everyone had to tuck their tails between their toes and run away and hide. Oh, wow, I voted leave. That is not how democracy works. You know, I grew up in Nigeria. We have in Nigeria 250 tribes. 250. So you can imagine there is a delicate balance between managing the different views. And tempers run high sometimes. But one thing that is so fundamental is respect. You don't need to agree with me, but you must respect my view. Now, without that underlying respect, this is what you get. This is what you get, what we have in the media. And you know, imagine if this happened 100 years ago, when people were not so civilized, when people settle arguments and disagreements in a violent way. This should not be allowed. So yes, we're going to vote, but I want you to think with me about the need to bring this country together. It is so fundamental. This is not about I won, you lost. I'm a leaver, you're a remainer. Everybody became a leaver on June 23rd, 2016. Everyone. This is how democracy works. Democracy is governance by the majority, not by the few. So if you lost, you should be big enough to say, okay, I lost this time. Let me get behind those that won. Let's see how we're going to make it work. I want you to take the Brexit party as a microcosm of what the UK can be like. Did you ever think this would be possible? Ever? Claire and Anne on the same table, speaking for the same cause. This is what democracy does. It unites. It creates an environment where it's okay to lose. It's okay to win. If you lose, you didn't lose. If you win, you didn't win. It's all about the common good, the common focus, the common path we want to go. And so I have made it my personal, I work in an office where, let's just say it's Remainer land. And I have colleagues that are so vehemently opposed to Brexit. But you know the beautiful thing? We laugh, we talk, we go for lunch. We're still talking to each other. And this is how the country has to be. Now, we're 3 years behind schedule, but it's not too late to course correct. Brexit will bring out the best in us. I really believe this. see, for those who can only survive when things work, Brexit is a disaster. But I want to tell you, in your personal lives, does everything work? This is normal. This is normal. Disruption is normal. We need to get behind the Brexit idea. We need to sell this. And so today, I'm wrapping up now, I want to call on everyone who voted, especially those of you who never voted, who decided you're never going to vote again. Come out on the 23rd of May. Tell your children before the 23rd of May. Tell your grandchildren why we're having this battle. It's not about I want to leave. It's not about I want to stay. It's about democracy. The people decided. The people's vote has already taken place. Thank you.
Well, that was brilliant. Fantastic. Isn't she great? Thank you.